Betrayal, Dirty Secrets, the three-part docuseries based on the #1 true crime podcast. And joining us now, our podcast host, Andrea Gunning, and Karoline Borega, the woman at the heart of the story of a family caught in a police officer's double life. Thank you so much to both of you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And Karoline, I want to start with you. Take us back to the beginning of how you ended up on this show. You reached out to a woman who was featured on an earlier season of Betrayal after you discovered your husband was investigated for having affairs not just on the clock, but in his police car?
Wow.
I did. I was driving in the middle of the night on a long road trip with my then 16-year-old daughter, and she actually found the podcast. And at that time, she said, hey, this sounds like something we could really be into. And after a handful of episodes and sitting in silence, we both looked at each other, and she broke the silence and said, this could be our family. And I was so inspired to hear someone have so much strength and bravery that I wrote in.
Wow. Andrea, let's bring you in. What was it about Karoline's story that really struck a chord with your team?
Yeah, so when Karoline reached out, we thought this may be an episode. But when we saw the investigation files and heard the recordings, they really showed the extent of Joel's behavior and his lies, and we knew this had to be a season.
And we have a clip here, but just to set this up, Karoline, your daughter, Nicole, was in the hospital when you and your husband were still together. And you say that her dad had been making excuses for days why he was too busy with work to visit until he finally showed up. So let's take a look.
At the time, I thought, oh, thank goodness he's come by and he's able to see her. But this picture's time-stamped. And that same day, I have timestamps of him exchanging messages with someone where he made arrangements to meet them. He was doing things that were dishonest and deceitful to our family and to our marriage while we were there. This picture infuriates me now.
Wow.
Wow. All right. And Andrea, Karoline's ex-husband, who declined to participate in the podcast, but previously said he acknowledges that he has made mistakes, has retired, and was never charged with any crimes. Why is it important to tell these stories?
You know, oftentimes, Gio, people lean in to these stories because of the deception and the lies, but I believe that they stay for the healing and the resilience of these women. And I think it's important to tell these stories to show that moments like this are not permanent, and you can rebuild and you can overcome. And that's why I keep doing this work.
Do you see it as a form of justice?
I not only see it as justice, but I feel like it's validation for the storytellers and the women who write in. What people don't understand a lot of times is that everything that is said on the podcast and the docuseries has to be vetted by multiple sources. So it's so validating to see that the split screen life and what you thought was normal is something that you're able to heal from, and you begin to feel this validation and truth from.
Andrea?
Yeah, you know, when people weaponize the truth and weaponize your sense of reality, it's important to get your story out there. And for Karoline, I believe that sharing her story was getting her truth out there, and that was important for her healing.
We appreciate both of you sharing your time with us today. Andrea and Karoline, thank you. And Betrayal, Dirty Secrets is streaming now on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.